Nate, are you? Come on, man. Where you at? Where you at? Show yourself. I know you're here with me, man. Where you at? Hey, it's coming.
Nice to show myself.
It's coming.
What's going
Hey,
on?
what's good? Look. Okay, first of all, who's greatness? That's your teammate. That's your boy.
Greatness.
It says
Greatness,
it's
man. I have a
Mr.
lot of friends.
Mr. Greatness JJ saying in the chat. Nato is the
Oh, yeah,
best
yeah, yeah.
man, best teammate, great player. Okay, so you gotta love early in the
Yeah,
chat.
that's my boy, JJ.
What's up? Talk to me, man. How you doing? How you been? How you been the last couple of weeks? Going into this draft.
I've been great, man. How you been?
I've been
How's
good, man.
everything?
I've been good. I mean, to be honest with you, I am. Even though I'm like not a prospect, I'm still like anxious and excited, for the draft. There's gonna be a lot of people, making their dreams come true and like basically changing their lives with this situation. Uh, so let me go ahead with the first simple question. What is your real name? Because obviously it's not Tornado. So, so what is your real name? Because it's
Yeah.
hard for me to call people by their gamer tags or PSN. But hit me with it. What's your name? What's your name?
All right, so my name is Avi. I know a lot of people
Avi.
mispronounce it all the time.
Just like that.
Avi.
Av.
Yeah.
That's it. Is Avi?
That's my short name. That's like so the full name is Abraham, right?
Oh, okay, okay,
But
okay, okay,
I
okay.
see. I don't want to like say the full name because then people are like, how do you pronounce that, right?
Yeah,
So I go
yeah,
by a
yeah.
simple short Avi.
Okay, okay. And talk to me about where you from growing up and why 2K? What made you play 2K? Was it love for basketball? What is it? Talk to me about growing up and getting to the whole video game stuff.
Yeah. So okay, first of all, I'm 25. I was born in Israel, which is
Oh,
overseas.
okay,
Moved to Canada when I was 8.
okay,
And I first lived in Manitoba, which is one of the coldest places in Canada.
okay. I don't like the cold, so
um,
I mean,
then I moved to Toronto when I was 14. So
okay,
with basketball, I started playing basketball in grade 5. Hey man, I was horrible, man. I was shooting like sideways. I couldn't get a proper shot for
okay,
it. It's
okay,
bad. But hey, I got into it, man. I started 2K, 2K10.
okay.
So what kind of got me into 2K was I remember grade 9, I didn't make the basketball team,
Wow.
you know? So I was like, maybe basketball is not really my thing, but 2K is fun. Like 2K is a game, everybody wants to be LeBron James or someone, just dunk on
Yeah,
someone and have a
yeah.
bit of
When
fun,
everyone is literally, yeah, NBA is
Uh,
is the dream. So you got your frustrations
yeah.
out on video games. You just start beating people up on 1v1s. That's what happened.
Hey, that was WWE, but yeah, 2K works too. But no, I think I made the senior team in grade 11 and
Okay.
12. But, I worked a lot off the court, but I always would play 2K for fun. Like, I think 2K10 was my first 2K with Kobe on the cover. So
Ooh.
I always used to play 2K for fun. Got competitive, I think, a little bit like 2K18 towards 19. But, basketball has always been fun to watch, fun to play. And, it was crazy because I think when the 2K League came around, I wasn't that known. I was just like, on Facebook, didn't really know much about Twitter back then. And that's why I heard all the comp is.
Yeah.
Slowly slithered my way in the comp scene kind of then. I think it was 2K18 ish, 19 ish.
Hmm.
But, the league was already around. I think I tried like season 1, didn't get the email.
Okay.
Season 2, I think the same. Season 3, I didn't try for it. I got some personal stuff going on, but I had my teammate Delusion make it, so that was pretty big for me.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yeah, but what kind of really, really wanted me to be in the league is, I flew out last year with my girlfriend to New York to actually watch the draft live, and that kind of blew me away because I've had a lot of friends who got drafted last year, and I met most of them, and it was an amazing experience. And watching like again Delusion get drafted, my friends get drafted, like I wanted to be there one day.
Yeah.
And this 2K21 came through. I fought my way, didn't win the finals, but got the prospect badge,
I saw
and
in the Orlando, right? In the Orlando one, right?
in Orlando.
Yeah.
We lost in the finals. It was a best out of 3. We lost in game 3. It was a tough loss. I think we lost by 2 or 3 points against Jordan Crew. So it was a tough game, but it is what it is now. Moving past it, working to get better and potentially get drafted.
I like that, man. So you mentioned Jordan Crew. You mentioned obviously you started playing 2K, 2K10. But I think 90% of the people in the league, when you're playing 2K10, 11, 12, all that, you're just chilling with your boys. Everything started
Yeah,
getting a
exactly.
lot more serious. Eventually took, like you said, 2K18. Like again, you mentioned Jordan Crew. I saw you played, I think, with Jordan Crew and with Ballistic this year. Maybe 2K18,
Mhm.
19. Like you said, you weren't that known on the community. You started, had to do social media, Twitter, all that. So talk to me about that. Talk to me
Mhm.
about trying to like get it into the community, starting your Twitter, starting like to play with guys again in ballistic, like the J Fries and the Reese's, and getting your name out there.
Mhm.
Like how was that for you? Like how that did it show you? Okay, I can bowl with these guys. You're playing with 2K
Mhm.
League caliber players. So how was that experience for you?
Honestly, it was fun because when we lost in the Magic tournament, I remember I think Sean Wynn hit me up and he was just like, "Hey, we need a power forward. You played amazing against us. Obviously you didn't win, but hey, come hoop with us." And at that time, I was kind of undecided. I'm like, I need to take a big step because if I want to have a chance to get drafted, I got to be seen more,
Yeah.
doing more on and off the court. So I took that chance. I think we lost in the Elite Eight, if I remember right, or either Final Four or Elite Eight. Don't remember, but it was a great experience because I've known Sean Wynn before. I met DP, who was a pretty cool guy, and um, I think we had Machine as our lock. I don't remember. I think it was Machine and Jacob. So they're really great guys.
Good
They
players
taught me a
too.
lot more. Yeah, amazing players. They taught me a lot, and I kind of elevated from there. And the ballistic situation was a little different. I think Truth hit me up, and he was just kind of like he was working on a new build. They needed a backup, and at first I was thinking about it. I'm like, backup.
Yeah,
I'm
you
going
get
for
to
the league, but
make
then I
plays.
exactly. But then I thought about it like real deep, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take that chance only because not even about the exposure, but like it's more of like getting better and playing, with Dave Fry
Yeah.
and Reed and Nudini was there too, and then Fox and even Truth. So I took that chance, and I played maybe like 10, 12 regular season games, and honestly, I enjoyed it. I got pretty close with some of the guys on that team. We watched film together at some time. They told me what I got to improve on, what I got to do better on, and I just took that to my advantage. Because you don't always get that chance. Because when you're coming up in the Twitter community, right? And somebody like me who came up and I never really played top players
Yeah.
or even as much league players, so that was a big chance for me, and I took as much advantage as I could, and I feel like that helped me elevate my game a little bit more too.
Yeah, I think. By the way, shout out to Dini and Dave. I play with them a lot, especially Dini. The last like 3 2Ks, and they are definitely not only great players, but they can tell you what you're doing wrong, help you in your game, and you're always gonna get better playing with them. I think that you mentioned right there is exactly what happened with me. I think when I came into the scene of 2K, I didn't really like know anybody from the community, but I had to start finding my way to play with top tier players. Eventually, you're gonna get better. So I'm
Hmm.
that's something really good that you did, and I applaud that, man. Let's take a little side route, and go into. I love talking about it because I think it's a wonderful experience. The whole FIBA thing that happened this year and well last year basically it was December, but for us, but FIBA was great, man. And you, I saw on your tweets, I was looking around. You said you were part of the practice squad for Canada, and
Hmm.
again, those the 6 players, 7 players that they chose great players. Everybody could have represented Canada, but you were part of the practice when you was able to play with them and be a part of that experience. Like, talk to me about the whole experience with FIBA practice squad, maybe future being a part of the team and being able to represent Canada, man. Like, how big is that for you?
Honestly, it was big because I remember how it started was Sam Fam actually DM'd me and he was like, "Hey, what's your email?" So going back to that, I was like, "Why does he need my email?" But I do remember at that time they're kind of giving out like I seen like the USA was
Yeah, so you was
everybody
like, yeah.
posting the email, so I'm like I was kind of catching on, and then a couple days later I get the email and I was like, "Wow, like that meant a lot to me." And then we scheduled the interview with Shane and Sam, and it was a really good interview, and I was excited. We had a couple team practices where I was on, and I was playing against like Sav, Goon, Kobe Yusuf, all those top guys, and it was honestly a great time. I enjoyed it, and every game, win or lose, I would always hit up Sam and I'd be like, hey, what do you think I did wrong? Like, because I always wanted to improve, no matter what. Like even if I had like a good game out of the corner as a power forward, but like I always wanted to see a different set of eyes looking at me and seeing, hey, like, you could have done this a little bit better. You would have got a steal. And that's where Sam was great. He was helping me out. He was making videos. And I really enjoyed it, honestly. I wasn't even mad that I didn't make the final 7 because regardless, I was still in the FIBA stream that day. I remember day 1 and day 2. I was spamming those Canada flags.
I
I was supporting my guys.
I remember like the love from every team. I remember, I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm 100% being honest with you. I remember seeing the tornado, PSN tornado. I was like, who is this? Like, what is this? Like, you see all the flags popping up, obviously, like, so you definitely were showing support, man. And for me personally, I think that was a great experience. The whole FIBA, not only for now but for the future. I think it can give guys like you and other people coming up. I think you are getting into it and being, like you said, finding and grinding a way to get into the scene. But there's a lot of talent that it's hard for them to get to the scene like that. So I think FIBA is one of the biggest chances for exposure or unknown talent. So that's why I love it. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and talk. This is just me being just a quick question about something I read. So okay, not only off the court, not only this you posted when you did your tweet with your info and everything. So you say you were a part of you played you had a police investigation degree or something like that. You obviously played were part of judo. What was the other thing you had? Advanced investigation, something was it?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. Like, what is what are you doing off the court? You're locked off the court too. It's not only like in 2K. You've been doing great off the court. So what is that in your life?
So when I was little, I guess the way I was raised always like to help people. Like that's what my family taught me. Like you always want to give back. Don't ever expect anything back, but something's always gonna be good happen to you when you give back to someone. And I guess I always wanted to be a police officer. So obviously I didn't really achieve that, but I finished school for it's like a school here where basically they teach you like the charge, teach you like how to talk to people. They basically go through all the process. That was what diploma I got here in Canada, and also got a certificate here that kind of helped me advance my other further skills, which is like interpersonal skills, leadership skills, and everything. For judo, I started judo pretty late, man, and I think that got me into a little brother. Man. And
by the way, we can keep going, but that's what crazy people.
Hey man, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. I got beat up a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, I got beat up a couple times, but it was fun. But it kind of made me be like the person who I am today. Because what I took from judo was like, as I said, I got beat up a couple times. They beat you up, but you always gotta stand up and keep going, keep pushing. Not give up. That's what I learned from judo too, and I got pretty competitive in it too. Like I've always, like I said, I played basketball, and judo was my big thing too. I'd done judo for like maybe 3 or 4 years. I think we went to the regionals. I won second place, so that was pretty big for me. But again, I was never satisfied. I always wanted more and more. But injuries came along, and that's when everything kind of slowed down.
And that happens for a lot of people in the league. Like it's like they had an injury in their sport they loved, and they were like, "Well, let's go ahead and play some 2K." Let's get the grind. But listen,
exactly.
being honesty, I respect that from you, and I think, like you said, which is 100% true, is like you doing all of that off the court and growing up in that environment and being able to study that and be a part of that. I think that helped you be the guy you are now, and I can tell just by interviewing how comfortable you are, and that's a big thing because when you get to the league, like you have to have some type of like, be comfortable social skills. What to say, when to say it. Off the court also, help the community and the teams and be a big guy, a foundation in the team. So something the team can be proud they representing. So I think you definitely have that on your side, and that's something that is a little bit underrated. I'll be honest. A lot of players or people look at the players and be like talent, 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 which is okay because obviously talent matters. But those little things outside of the game
Hmm.
too also matter to impact the team when you're in the league. You know, because that's a business. You're going through a tough, schedule. It's gonna be up and down, roller coaster rides. And some tough moments. So you need that type of mentality. So I think that's gonna help you, and I respect that from you, man. Let's go ahead before we finish. This is the most important thing, obviously. The draft is coming up. You are part of the pool.
Hmm.
Like you said, obviously you're getting into the community, but obviously this year you made a big jump. Uh, let's go ahead and ask this. So, how do you feel about you be comfortable, not comfortable, whatever you want to answer on it. But this is the question. So, how do you feel about people maybe putting you or not putting you in mock drafts, all this stuff, and like what the pronunciation is gonna be about where you're gonna go or not go? How do you feel about that? And what do you feel like you should like this year? You should be on a team. You think you've grinded it all. You've done it. You put in the time in 2K21 and you show people you have the talent. Like, how do you feel coming into the draft? Like, do you feel like this is it? Like, this is your year. You should be in the league and you put it all and you made a good step forward.
Honestly, I feel like I did pretty well. Like aside from game, like playing the game every day, like marketing wise, I've been posting a lot of YouTube videos. You know, like people like yourself who didn't really know me, getting to know me more through YouTube, and I feel like I've done enough. But for me, like I said, I'm never satisfied. I'm still gonna keep pushing regardless, because I feel like content is really important regardless, because there's always going to be like a coach or a scout or a GM who's not watching you at that time. But when you have everything on your YouTube, it's kind of easier for them to like look back, be like, hey, like I never knew who this guy was before I watched him, kind of thing. Um, and for mocks, honestly, like I think I was on one or two mocks. Um, Mocks is just whatever. I feel like it's all opinionized, like opinion based.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, what really matters is what coaches and GMs think of you, because mocks is great content. We all know it's always content.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one coach or GM and just be like, hey, I really like what this guy brings to the table, and if he's available when it comes to our pick, we're gonna select him. That's how I see it as. But regardless, I'm gonna keep grinding. Regardless, if you get drafted this year, I'm gonna still keep pushing. But I feel like I'm at a good place. But then again, you never know what's gonna happen. There's only 62 spots, and this draft pool is huge. And
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot, and I respect all those power forwards and centers and all the other players in this pool. So if they get picked before me, I'm not gonna get upset. Or even though even if I don't get picked, I also respect them regardless. Because they work hard too. You can't just take that away from them. But like I said, there's only 62 spots, Jomar. So
Yeah. This
anything can happen.
this
Anything can happen.
this is one of the most toughest draft, unpredictable drafts. A lot of talent, a lot of different ways teams can go and build their situation. It's
Hmm.
so many different routes that can happen on the draft, and as I've seen previous years, one pick can change everything. Uh, so let me ask you this: so, right? Let's say Avi slash Tornado gets drafted to XYZ team. What would like the
Hmm.
people say? Okay, it's like what does this guy bring to the team on and off? Like what does Avi bring to the team on the game and off the game? Like what are we getting if you're getting drafted? Like when somebody gets drafted and do the whole boom 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 with the okay he brings defense, offense, shooting, up the court leadership. Like what is the Avi scout resume right there?
So for on the court, like this is what actually I had people tell me. They always said like I'm a really good shooter. I know when to shoot. I hardly miss. Um, Defense too. I'm always communicating with my teammates. Always bringing out energy. I've dealt with a lot of different situations where players were getting like mad or aggressive, and I just learned like you got to learn how to talk to them. You can't yell back at the player. You always got to learn how to talk to that one player, because you gotta, what if he's having a bad day and he just got on the game, we'll have a big
Yeah,
game, and he's just taking it out. It
it
happens, right?
happens,
It
man. It
happens.
happens, man.
But you know, you gotta learn how to de-escalate a situation at the time being. And I've learned that with a lot of programs I actually took off the court, like the Dale Carnegie program I took, and that actually taught me a lot how to communicate and how to deal with certain different personalities. Same with my policing. So that's that. Off the court, I bring great vibes, man. Everybody in this community likes me.
I like
You know,
that.
I'm an uprising content creator, man. Like I'm actually enjoying this content. And when I first started, it was just kind of like, let's get to know me a little bit better. But the more I do it, it's kind of like, hey, this is fun. Like I want to keep doing it, you know. So that's another thing I would bring. And other than that, like I'm always accountable. I made a mistake, I'll always own up to it. I watch film.
That's a
I
big
used
thing.
to actually do back, I think, in 2K20, man. I used to do film breakdowns. I actually was showing Truth a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, before we played you against Greatness at that time, and I showed him, it was like this long of a list. I'm like, this is what Truth does, this is what Crushy does, this
Yeah.
is what Goofy does. And he was like, holy shit. Like, he was like, damn, you actually wrote a lot. He's like, that's great. I'm like, hey, like I think we lost like in game 4. I don't remember in a BO5, but still, like it's the little things,
It's the little
and
things.
I'm always hardworking, man. Like I'm always like I'm punctual, hardworking, ready to grind. If I do even get drafted as a 6 man, I'm not gonna stress it out. And if my power forward is having a bad game, I'm not just gonna go to the gym and be like, hey, he sucks. Like put me in. No, you know
Yeah.
what? Like my time will come. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna show you that I can hoop. I'm not gonna ever talk bad on someone else, especially like DMs against someone, or it's going to be amazing locker room vibes. And on the court, like I said, I'm just striving to get better.
I like
Whatever
that.
the team needs, I'm here.
I like that, man. I think you said a lot of great things, and I can tell. I mean, I tell this to everybody. I mean, they can believe me or not, but I can tell when I'm talking to somebody. I can tell like your personalities if they're giving me a little bit of the BS cheating or not. But I can tell, you're 25, you got your mind right off and off the court. You the way you grew up and the way you've been, around people. I can tell you know what to do, what to say, and be a great teammate off the court, which is a big thing, like I said before. And then on the court to be able to bring top tier talent at that position. It's always game changing. I don't care what people say. Every position in the league matters. I basically played almost everything in the league, and and when I was playing power forward, like I had a big impact on my team, and I
Hmm.
know like it helps. It's like you said. I think the power forward is the little things that people don't see on the
Exactly.
box score, and people don't give love to it. But without that, you can't win. So for you to say that and what's the word? Live it. Be like, okay, this is my role. This is what I'm gonna do. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people do that. There's so many people with a high ego or looking for stats or
Yeah.
whatever the case that they can't play that. In that position, you have to have some type of mentality to play that position, and you have it. So that's big. I also wanted to ask you. I think we touched a little bit on it, but you posted on your. Hold on, let me make sure I get the names right. So you got Reese, you got Doug, you got Dave Fry, you got Tactic, you got Joe Vegas, Sean Wayne, Doug's, Say, Idrus, all these people showing you love, showing you some respect, on the talent of you have on the court. Uh, is that something that like not only helps you but like gives you more and more confidence getting into the league and making it to the community and making sure your name's out there day by day? And also like how do you feel about you know not only getting love from the top tier players but the top tier power forwards like the Dinis and the Says, that basically been dominating the league? So how do you feel about that?
Honestly, it feels great. I didn't really touch upon this, but I used to actually like 2K20. I played against Zay, and I kind of started to model my game more like his. I know he played center a lot in the league, but I still modeled him as power forward because he was aggressive out of the corner, and I kind of like that too. I started even 2K21, started calling my own plays out of the corner, and once I got a point guard who could trust me and just simple as go or just do it,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me. And and I spoke to Zay a little bit too, and I told him like, hey, like I appreciated you a lot because like just watching you play, helped me too. And Truth as well too. Truth was a knockdown shooter even before entering the league, and I learned a lot from them, and like that helped me, and I'll always be appreciative to those guys. And same, Doug's, and I play even for the little time I played with Reed, man. I was like, damn, he's really good. He's really good. And Dave Fry just made me better. And people used to say Dave Fry's toxic, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's
Yeah.
actually not toxic. He just wants you to win or us to win, and he wants you to be on your A game every day. So you know what? Come in and work. That's what when I got to play with Ballistic, and like I think the first game we played was against DP Snagaholic. Mind you, I've never played with him. Okay, we didn't really speak before, and like we came in there and won that game. And I think I had a really good game that game too. I think I had like 18 out of the corner and stuff. And I was like today for hey, like what do I need to work on? Like regardless, we won. And he told me straight up, he's like, no, you did good. And then next game we lost. So what I got to do here is just be a little more focused in this. That helps me, and that's why I respect these guys too. Even Duck, the YMCA, that's helping a lot of prospects such as myself. Even though my work schedule is a little tough, so I can't be in the mornings, but still watching it, and you can see a lot of other prospects prosper. So like to me, all those guys, who said a little bit about me, that meant the world to me, and even I know there's a lot of other guys who said a few things. I just couldn't all fit it in there, but I respect them a lot, and those are my guys, and I'm always there for them on and off the court, and always here to listen, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, that's a great point, and you touched on it by saying you have to be able, especially in the league too. You have to be when you get into the league, right, and you get to a team, and you're not playing with your boys in prime anymore. You're playing with
Exactly.
another group of guys. Maybe you never played with them. You don't know them personally. And you gotta mesh quickly because the league starts. Boom, and it's there. If you don't mesh quickly and you miss that first whole month, and now you're on a losing
Mm-hmm.
streak, that can definitely impact the whole season. So, being able to take criticism, give criticism,
Exactly.
being able to talk, it's a big thing in the league, and it's hard,
Yeah.
bro. It's not easy, to be on a losing streak or struggling that day, and then somebody's telling you gotta do this to be better, and you maybe take it the wrong way. So it's not easy, but you have to have that on your persona. You have to be able to take and give criticism.
And that's why I joined the combine too. That's why I joined the combine. The way they did it a little different this year, and I actually, the first day of the combine, I started off 2-2, and I had like the worst internet. Like I think my up was like 10. Like I was struggling. I couldn't buy a bucket. I think I even made a YouTube video about all the
Really?
mistakes I made in the combine. Yeah, and then day two, I actually drove to my girlfriend's, and I was just like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna wire it in. Like, let's do it." And I went crazy, and I think I finished 6-2 in the open combine, and I played with like Colt, Underrated Goat, and some of the bigger names. And I even reached out to them. I was like, "Hey, like, what do you think I got to do on?" And they told me their advice. They're like, "Hey, you got to do this, and this is what you did great." Regardless, we won all the games that day, but I'm still looking to get better. Regardless, that I think that's what kind of separates me more than other people. Is just I'm regardless, even if I can have 40-point game, I'm still gonna look what I did wrong that can improve my game regardless. And I'm just I'm just hungry, as people say.
I like
And that's why I enjoyed what the process was.
and by the way, thank you for mentioning it because I almost forgot about it. I'll be honest with you, because I got my own notes, but I literally forgot about it. I forgot about the whole combine process. So you touched on it a little bit right now. Talked about playing with new teammates and stuff like that, and you went 6-0, 6-2, my best, which is I think it's a pretty good, solid record for playing with people that you don't know and just jumping from team to team and stuff like that. Uh, but obviously you like the process. I think every player that I've asked them, they all like the process because compared to the first couple seasons. I don't know if you tried or the whole situation the first couple
Yeah,
seasons with the randoms and everything, but talk
it
to
was
me.
bad.
I know it's just some people that don't know the game or don't have the mic controls, bad situation. But talk to me again a little bit more about that, experience being able to play with different players, different teams, being able to make an impact at a high level with the top prospects
Mhm.
coming into the draft. Making sure, okay, this is it. This is where I'm getting matched up against the other top power forwards, against the other top big men in the upcoming draft. Like you coming in, you
Mhm.
trying to kill it. So talk to me about that. How you feel about your teammates? If you have any shout outs, anything like that. So how was the whole thing with the combine?
Honestly, like I said, the combo was great. Aside from my first bad day, even though I still had great teammates who who told me to keep my head up because I knew my internet was kind of buggy. Like I was literally missing every wide open shot. And some people are like, "That's not like you. Like you hardly miss. Like it's ridiculous." But day two was
You bounce
awesome,
back.
and
Yeah. You bounce
bounce
back.
back. It was a big bounce back too, from like I think from like 4 points per game to like 15 or 16 on the corner. Like it was big up, and I had some great teammates. I had some great teammates, and we had fun. I feel like that was the most important thing. We got along right away. Like I had I think Blackman Chess in one of the games. I spoke to him in the past, but it was never like that. But we hooped, we had fun,
Yeah.
and we just balled out. And but the most important thing, we got the wins too. So we're hooping, having fun, and we got the win. You can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about the combine, which I value the most, and I'm glad you said it too, is the winning. Because when I'm looking into players in the combine, I looked into like what did I do about myself, what did I do to get into league, and was the winning percentage. Being able to impact the game and make sure you get the win without regardless of what happens. You're trying to get that W. You don't care. You got 0 points, 20. You got 5 steals to 0.
Exactly.
You have to find a way to get the win, and that's the most that matters. Because when you're in the league, again, we're going back to the league. It's like you don't care about oh, let me get mine, or let me do this, let me do that specifically. You care about getting that W at the end of the day. Yeah, that what matters. So I respect that, man, and I'm glad you said it, because that's win is the most important stat. So that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Man, Avi, I mean, you pretty well spoken, man. You definitely gave me a lot of great insight on you and what you've been doing. I'm glad that you hit me up, man, because that's what I'm trying to do. And I can't get everybody in here at the same time,
Exactly.
but I'm trying to get some exposure, especially dudes like you that have been getting the grinding and been putting in the work to get the exposure. So I'm glad you came through, man. And if there's any other things you want to say or anything other you want to touch on, we can touch on it before we go. But I appreciate you, man, coming through again, being well spoken. Telling the people out there that watch the stream or gonna watch it back later. Basically, a quick little interview for Tornado from Abby, from anybody from any teams. Is a big guy here, on and off the court, and yeah, I just wanted to say that. So anything you want to say, anything in specific, or you good?
Honestly, like first of all, again, thank you for having me. That was
Sure.
awesome. For everybody else, honestly, I know a lot of people I know who didn't make the pool this year. Just honestly keep grinding. Like don't put your head down because you just didn't make it now. The league is still going to be here regardless. So if you didn't make the pool this year, there's post draft. Work on your brand. Pre-draft comes, go crazy, man.
I
That's all
like
you got to do.
I like that, man. I think that's something that I also like to tell people, man. I've been from the outside looking in the first 2 years. I had to play, then go back into the unretained, and then grind myself back in, and then go back again. I did it 2 years in a row, and like you said, you have to have that mindset to grind the game. And if this is really what you want, if you want to be a part of the 2K League, and this is what you're fighting for, don't give it up, man. Just keep fighting. Eventually, you're gonna get there. If you're putting in the time and sacrificing, like you should, like over other people, and making this your focus, you're gonna get it. So appreciate that.
Exactly.
I appreciate that, Abby, and I wish the best for you. I'm glad we talked. I got now another teammate slash international love I can talk with, and be on contact with for the future. I follow you, you follow me, so we're gonna be in touch for sure. And I appreciate you
Awesome.
again. And yeah, man, thank you for coming through, bro.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, thank you so much.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna make sure I got my other guys coming through. Take care, Avi. Everybody in the
Take
chat,
care.
we're gonna have the guy, the man himself. Let me make sure he is around. Man, that not gonna lie though, man, Avi slash Tornado, whatever you guys wanna call him. Hold on. Let me make sure I got my stuff working. Hold on. Man, what a great guy, bro. I could tell early and quickly, how there we go, my camera's working. I could tell, man. I could tell he's 25, very well spoken, have police work, social work, speaks I think like 3 different languages, been getting into the community, grinding, great teammate. Uh he has that mindset already in place, to be able to be a part of the league and to be able to be a great teammate. And I think the dude has it, man. And again, coming back to it, he has the talent. He has the off-court personality to mesh with different types of people, and that's a big thing. There's some players that maybe with certain group of guys are gonna be good. Certain group of guys are gonna be it's gonna be tougher, and you know it's not easy, man. At the end of the day, it's not easy. But I can tell with Avi, like he's gonna be good regardless where he goes. He's gonna be good, and he's gonna have a great, time, and make sure his teammates have a great time with him over there. So I like that from him, man. I like that. We need more. We need more of those. Man.